On November 14th,
Meet Mia. She's got a Copilot Plus PC, so she can forget her charger and still
14 of 2025, a small family rents out an Airbnb for a few days, unaware that they would encounter something very unsettling while staying there. They had booked the place in advance for an upcoming wedding that was out of town, so staying here made sense. But one night, after coming back from walking their dog, this happens.
We were just out walking my dog, and when we came in, we heard Jesus Christ. Grinch!
Somehow, the leash on her dog's collar suddenly jolts up in a quick motion before wrapping itself around her dog. It just flings up as if someone had chucked it upwards, but clearly, no one is seen on the stairs to have done that, which is very odd considering that just moments ago this was heard. Now Sydney, who recorded this video, was just as baffled as the Airbnb host who received this video from her. But this wouldn't be the only video she sends, because the next day, while placing the leash on the stairs to see if it would jump again, this is captured.
Okay, so this is the leash. There she goes again. I don't think the leash is gonna move, but she's definitely sensing something. Every single day.
Although the leash doesn't move this time, her dog goes ahead and does this. For some reason, it's at the same time the leash is on the steps that her dog begins to search for something. But like before, nothing appears to be there. Sydney even checks the rug to see if anything on or under it was making her dog behave this way. But still, nothing. However, there's something in this video that's worth pointing out, and it's a detail that appears in other videos that Sydney recorded of her dog. Watch closely.
So I wanted to show you guys some footage of my dog with these stairs. So here's another clip that I got of her doing it, walk over and see her, and she was so locked into this.
Now if you didn't notice, in each video, Sydney's dog is always around a certain area of the stairs. It's always the middle or lower half of the steps, but never the top. If it wasn't for this detail, Sydney would not have realized this.
So I think I figured out why my dog just is always hanging out right here. So I just found a door back here. So I don't think that it's what's on the stairs. I tried to check, but the door is locked. Obviously it's an Airbnb, so they lock a lot of the doors up. Yeah, I don't think that it's what's on the stairs like what I initially thought. I think it's what's below.
Considering that the space is on the ground, it explains why her dog is never seen on top. She seems to be sensing something that's in this room. But the question is, what exactly is she sensing? Wanting to find out, Sydney and her sister probe around the space to see what it might be that's inside. But during this moment, while recording, they capture this.
So this is the switch. You guys can see the light is on right there. I wonder if it's...
Just, maybe there's something right behind the door.
Almost immediately after Sydney pulls out her phone, the doorknob suddenly turns. Although no one was seen on the other side, the door handle moves as if held from the other end. Now Sydney was under the impression that a person had turned the knob, so they reach out to the Airbnb host and ask if anyone else is renting the place.
Sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb, and hold on, let me turn asking like, hey, is there someone else renting it out as well as us or what? Because basically he was like, no, you guys are the only ones that are in the Airbnb right now, like booked out for the week.
After finding out that no one else is inside, Sydney concludes that what happened that night wasn't a case of someone co-renting the house, but rather another paranormal occurrence. To her, this is much preferable over having a stranger inside the house. But despite being at ease now, knowing that it's not a person, the doorknob incident still baffles her. This is so, especially given that it still moves now and then.
Yeah. Scary. Okay. Okay, every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
As it turns out, this room was actually a basement. Out of nowhere, the phone gets yanked inside before tumbling down the steps and landing on its face. But it's before it tumbles that something weird happens. If you didn't notice, the phone moves on its own again before falling down. But of course, the strangest part is when the phone somehow lifts itself. Neither Sydney nor the Airbnb host could explain this. It just rises up before falling back with no footsteps around to suggest that someone was there. It's no wonder why many see this as being paranormal. To Sydney and her sister, that's exactly the case. Whatever had been inside did not seem to like their intrusion, from the leash moving on its own to the phone being pulled inside. It currently remains unknown as to what exactly occurred here, but as with all videos, you be the judge on whether or not something supernatural took place. As always, let me know your thoughts on this one. Now the following video was recorded by a grandmother who lives alone with her dog and 2 cats. However, it appears that her pets aren't the only ones keeping her company, because according to her, there's something in her house that won't leave her alone.
В зеркале было отражение чего-то не очень непонятного. На видео. Я вам всем докажу.
According to Polina, last night she recorded a video of something that appeared in her bedroom. It showed up in the same spot where it often appears, around the mirror. She's been trying to get it on camera as her family believes it's nothing. They believe it's her old age that's making her see things. But after watching this video, they're not so sure now if that's the case. Take a look.
Уходи отсюда. Я тебя не боюсь. Уходи отсюда. Уходи из моего дома. Уходи. Я тебя не боюсь. Уходи отсюда. Уходи отсюда. Я тебя не боюсь. Уходи. Уходи, я сказала. Уходи отсюда. Уходи. Я тебя не боюсь.
After Polina realizes that what she'd seen wasn't there, she catches sight of this, a dangling ornament beneath the lamp, moving on its own. However, it wasn't just swaying back and forth as one would expect, it was curving upwards in a strange manner that neither a draft or wind current could cause. Now, whatever happened that night is something that remains uncertain. In either case, whether paranormal or not, just seeing this out of nowhere is unsettling. But one night, Polina decides to record again because apparently she saw the same figure hiding inside her fireplace. Take a look. Like something out of a nightmare, what looks like a head suddenly appears in the fireplace, and the freakiest part is that it shows itself right when Polina starts to get close. It's as if whatever this was had realized she was approaching. Understandably, she was freaked out by this, but more so after going back to the space and seeing the fireplace completely empty now. Like before, what she saw initially is now gone. Now currently, no new videos have been shared by Polina, whether supernatural or something else. These two clips are without a doubt pretty terrifying.
It's Sky's best ever Black Friday and it's a blinder. Full fibre 500 and Sky T.
Now the following video comes from a young mother named Akina, and ever since having her first child, she's been posting numerous videos of her baby boy. It's her first child, so it makes sense that she would want to capture every moment involving her son Ponko. From the time he was born to the moment he got his first playpen, Akina has been sharing lots of memories involving Ponko on her page. However, not every moment has been shared online, and for good reason. On January 29th of 2024, at around 2:30 in the morning, Akina was dead asleep when she suddenly woke up to something in her bedroom. Thankfully, little Ponko was unaware of what was happening, because during this moment, something pretty frightening happened. The following is what was caught. Take a look. It's no wonder why Akina didn't want to share this video initially. Now, besides the fact that the door opens and closes all by itself, there's something Akina mentions that makes this whole video even more terrifying. According to her, at this moment, she had seen a figure standing at the doorway which looked a lot like her husband. But the weird part about this is that her husband had not come home from work yet. It was only a few hours before he came back, but strangely, to Akina, he was there, just staring at her from a distance. Now clearly, no one is there. However, if you listen closely to the audio, you can hear Akina's security alarm going off as though someone entered the house. It's for this reason she leaves the room to turn it off and to chase her husband, who was walking away at this point. But it's from this moment that things start to get creepier, because not long after, Akina acts strange. From standing motionless at the door to quickly coming in and sitting down in a rigid manner, it's almost as if Akina was someone else. But as it turns out, she was just scared, because after heading downstairs to see where her husband had gone, she saw that all the lights were still off and the door still locked. Her husband, as it seems, was not home yet. Freaked out, she heads back up and sits down while trying to figure out what just happened. If he wasn't home, then who was? She continues to replay this moment in her head, despite occurring a while ago. But until it's figured out what happened, she'll continue to keep this video up on her page while sharing more videos of her son. For now, this occurrence remains a mystery. In this next video, a mother had recently shared a clip that freaked her out after noticing what was in it. One day, while looking at her security cameras, Adrian Dakota notices something inside her living room, but more specifically, around her child's playpen. She wasn't sure as to what she was seeing, so she zooms in and replays the video to check. It goes without saying, but what she saw continues to keep her up at night. Now, it's important to note that before this incident, Adrian had already been documenting strange things around her house, and for some reason, these occurrences had something to do with her children's toys. Now, it might be easy to write this off as being just a glitch or a toy that's starting to malfunction, but what's strange is that this was happening day after day, one toy turning on after another. And that's without mentioning that during this time, Adrian's daughter had an imaginary friend who she said was very tall. Now, keep this imaginary friend in mind, because this detail becomes important much later in the video she recently posted. The reason why she was so freaked out by the toys turning on was because prior to this, her daughter kept mentioning this imaginary friend. And apparently, this so-called friend would show up in places where her daughter said it was, usually inside the house, near the toys. Adrian was so frightened by this, but more so by this video, because according to her, while taking care of her second child in another room, something terrifying appears in her living room. This is what she caught. To Adrian, it appears that someone or something peeks out from behind her baby's playpen. Thankfully, her child wasn't in there during this moment. But strangely, even though no baby was occupying it, the figure itself looks like one. Whether it's just pareidolia or not, it's obvious that something is there. Considering that a bowl just fell off the shelf with no apparent cause, Adrian can't help but wonder if whatever this was had been responsible for the other occurrences before. It is strange how each occurrence involves one of her children's things. Whether it's their toys or their small play enclosure, something unexplainable happens around them. This, of course, brings up the question, could this have been the supposed imaginary friend her daughter had previously mentioned? Or might this be something else entirely? Currently, and unfortunately, there is yet to be a definitive answer to this question. Now, the following video was submitted to me by Ariane B, who writes that she took this video during a school field trip to the Philippines. It was 2010 when she recorded this, so understandably, the quality isn't that good. But despite being filmed on a cheap cell phone, she was able to capture something pretty noticeable on camera. And of course, what she notices is pretty creepy. According to her, she was taking a tour of an old fortress where many soldiers had lost their lives. This fortress is known as Fort Mills, and the section of this fort that Ariane was touring is known as Battery Grubs, a section where both Filipino and American soldiers had sacrificed their lives while defending against invading forces in 1942. While touring Battery Grubs, Ariane captures this. Now it's been 15 years since this video was taken, and Ariane hadn't realized what was captured until rewatching this footage recently. On the upper level of this barrack, there appears to be something moving, but it doesn't look like a tourist who is just wandering. Rather, it looks like a moving blurb that disappears in an instant. Now of course, given the camera's low quality, this might have just been a camera artifact, or in other words, a visual glitch. But it's worth noting that this only appears once throughout the entire video. Never again do we see anything like this afterward, suggesting that maybe this wasn't the camera acting up, but instead something that was actually there. As Ariane believes, this blurb was most likely the spirit of one of the soldiers who passed away during battle here. Perhaps this is them still living out the same scenario that played out during 1942, unaware that they're no longer alive. It's a sad thought, but nevertheless, this footage creeps out Ariane. So then, just what exactly was caught on camera at this fort? If you caught something creepy on camera, or if there's any ghost videos you'd like me to check out and include in the next compilation, you can send them over to scaryvideos444@gmail.com. That being said, let's get back to the video. Now it's often the case that videos on the paranormal take place inside a home. It's usually the setting that makes small disturbances feel twice as scary. But the same can be said for any place where something that shouldn't occur happens. Such is the case in this next video, where a group of Philippine students had caught something on camera inside an empty restroom. But as you'll see, it definitely wasn't. Take a look. Out of nowhere, the sound of a child crying emanates from inside the restroom. But the thing is, they're nowhere to be seen. The only thing that is seen are the empty stalls where just moments ago, the door to one of them began to open on its own. But even without seeing this, the voice alone is pretty unnerving. It's enough to make anyone just run away. Now, very little info is available on this clip, but what was captured is just one instance of something supernatural that occurred here. This school is said to be haunted. So then, was a ghost caught on camera, or had something else been captured? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Also, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and make sure to hit the bell icon so you don't miss any uploads in the future. Also be sure to check out the official TikTok account. In the following video, a mother named Aaliyah is recording her daughter who just had a night terror.
Now, despite the name of this video, I would never tell you that these are 100% quote real ghost videos. but they are the most convincing, most compelling, and hardest to explain paranormal videos that I've seen in the last 10 years of doing this channel. But as always, you decide. The Highway 5 Ghost Girl. This next video, posted to Reddit by Little Goth Doll, was recorded from a monitor, then screen capped on a phone before it finally made its way to the internet. So it's a bit potato quality. Nevertheless, the video is chilling. It was pulled from the dashcam feed of two truck drivers after a frightening incident. So, one night 2 truck drivers are driving on Highway 5 in Lynn, Alabama, when they get the scare of a lifetime. The panic-stricken truck drivers believe that they have just run over a young girl. They pull over and call 911, but when they check the highway and the surrounding area along with arriving police, they don't find anything or anyone. There's just no one there. After the truck drivers request a viewing of the footage recorded that night on Highway 5, they are shocked. Just as they thought, there is in fact a girl in a long dress walking across the road, seemingly getting hit by their truck. The 2 guys later find out that there's a well-known ghost story about this road, Highway 5 in Lynn, Alabama. The story goes that 10 years ago on a rainy night, a teenage girl on her way home from her high school prom lost her life on the road after being hit by an 18-wheeler. So could it be that these truck drivers captured the prom dress ghost of Highway 5? Either way, their reactions say that they saw the truck hit something. But as always, you decide. The Feline Grim Reaper. Oscar the cat was adopted by the Steerhouse Nursing Home in Rhode Island when he was just a kitten, along with 5 other cats. The idea was that the 6 cats could provide companionship and comfort for the nursing home residents. However, the staff soon noticed that Oscar was not quite as friendly as the other cats.
Oscar is not always the friendliest cat. He's not friendly to, he can be bribed like many animals, but he is not a cat that will spend quality time with residents on the ward.
But the staff did begin to notice that Oscar did show a special interest in certain patients. The cat would go into the room of particular nursing home residents and curl up at the foot of their beds. Within 2 to 4 hours, the patients would pass away. After the patient was deceased, Oscar would leave the room as quietly as he had entered.
He will only go and stay with patients that are about to die. He will leave rooms, for example, when patients are not close, even though we might perceive them to be close.
If Oscar was removed from a patient's room and the door was closed, he would pace outside, meowing to be let back in.
And Oscar will frantically pace outside the closed door, which that is really something to see.
Even creepier, Oscar has never been wrong.
He's been pretty accurate. I know actually of no event where he wasn't at the bedside.
Now, usually in these videos, I'll ask you if you think a story is real or fake. But there's no disputing this one. It's 100% real. Oscar the cat's amazing ability to predict the demise of patients was chronicled in 2007 in the New England Journal of Medicine, after he had accurately predicted the passing of over 25 patients. Since the publishing of that article, Oscar has now predicted the passing of over 100 patients. So the real question is, how does he do it? Is it ESP or some supernatural ability? Is it something paranormal? You decide. The Thing in the Tunnel. This next video is from Nuke's Top 5 viewer Sophie, who sent this exclusively to me, never posted it on social media of any kind, and never even asked for credit. She says that her friend Laura recorded this in an abandoned railway tunnel in Hassel, Germany. The tunnel was built in 1890 and it was used extensively by German troops during World War II. So, while on a weekend trip, Laura checks out the historic old abandoned rail tunnel. She's recording with her phone when she captures what is maybe one of the weirdest clips I've ever seen. Check it out. something pale and thin can be seen rising up from the tracks in front of Laura on what looks like a thin little arm. As for Laura, she gets one look at the disturbing thing and just turns and makes a run for it. Now, watching this clip over and over, I honestly have no idea what this is. It looks like maybe a hairless torso with two skinny arms, getting up in a very unnatural way. Maybe it's an animal, maybe it's a very weird looking person. I just don't know. So you tell me what you think this is down in the comments. Someone watching over. A Nuke's Top 5 viewer who wishes to remain anonymous, let's just call him or her Alex for the sake of the video, emailed me about a CCTV recording captured at an undisclosed sleep lab during a sleep apnea test. Alex says that a coworker was monitoring a widowed female patient's sleep. And then this happened.
I'm going to start recording. Oh my god. I see it work my way. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yes. It's gone now.
Now, to get a better understanding of what is going on, a bit of explanation is necessary. So the squiggly lines that can be seen at the bottom of the screen indicate that the woman has stopped breathing during her sleep. The mysterious pale figure then appears to reach out to wake the woman, after which she begins to breathe again. Alex believes the apparition might have been the patient's deceased husband, still carefully watching over her from beyond the grave. But what do you think this strange pale shape could be? Let me know down in the comments.
I'm going to start recording. Oh my god. I see it work my way. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yes. It's gone now.
The Watts house. The strange events at the Watts family home in Colorado might be one of the most reliably documented hauntings of all time, because every piece of paranormal evidence comes from footage recorded directly by policemen on their body cams.
Frederick Police Department, anybody in the house, make yourself known!
So Shannon Watts and her daughter Bella and Cece lost their lives under absolutely horrible circumstances, all at the hands of husband and father Chris Watts. In fact, the details of the case are so grim that I'm not going to go into them here, but if you want to read the full story, you can simply Google the Watts family. In this video, two women from the police K-9 unit go through the Watts house to investigate the strange disappearance. Obviously, this video was recorded before the tragic fate of Shannon and her children were known. This footage is 100% real. It is documented police video captured by one of the investigators' body camera. So shortly after entering the house, they catch some strange video on the stairs.
Smells like cleaning, doesn't it?
If you're looking to sell your home in Scotland quickly, We Buy Home Scotland can help. We'll offer you
Many viewers believe this looks like a quick glimpse of a childlike apparition descending the stairs, but it could just be a video glitch. But then the policewoman begins to catch multiple strange and unusually clear EVPs on her body cam.
So there's your attic access right there. So there's your attic access right there.
But strangest of all, while investigating an upstairs closet, the officers actually hear something that seems to spook them.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
The unexplained voice of a giggling child can be heard, but there's absolutely no explanation for where the sound came from. The K-9 officer is so spooked, she asks the other officer to check it out.
step on that little blue thing and see if that's where that noise came from?
Yeah, it sounded like a kid toy.
It sort of sounds like it.
Something. I heard it.
Did you hear it?
I did.
Sounded like a kid giggling or something, didn't it? Or a kid.
It did.
That was strange. Well, we'll make a note of that.
I heard it. I definitely heard the same thing you did.
Yeah, and then he just sort of turned.
So is the Watts house haunted by the unsettled spirits of Shanann and her daughters? Or are these simply random, seemingly very clear noises? What do you think? It's cold outside, but you can keep warm in some all-new Nuke's Top 5 merch. Now, of course, we have t-shirts, hoodies, and coffee mugs, but we also have blankets, pillows, and long sleeves. We've even got stockings and wrapping paper. Anyway, shipping is free and be sure to order by December 10th to get delivery before Christmas. Go to nukestop5.com to shop now. Or, like whenever you feel like it. Maybe after the video. Guardian Angel. A shopkeeper in Adana, Turkey was closing up for the night, bringing in his store's produce and other items from the sidewalk outside his store. Little did he know that he was in imminent danger. Luckily, a very mysterious stranger was there to look out for him. Watch this unexplained clip very closely. Notice that the man who taps the shopkeeper's shoulder doesn't even look back or seem to see the oncoming truck. The vehicle actually turns onto the street while his back is turned.
Tam şu noktada açıldı kapı.
Yani adamın kapağı görmüş olma ihtimali var mı?
Bence hiç zannetmiyorum. Ben sonradan gördüm bu kapağı. Zaten kamerada da gördüğü gibi.
The shopkeeper says that he looked around after the incident, but the man seemed to have mysteriously vanished. So just how did this strange man seemingly predict the accident that was about to happen and warn the shopkeeper?
Ama o adam nereden gördü arabanın kapağını, dikkat etti de bana işaret etti, o gitti. Adam sonradan da kayboldu gitti yani, adam nereye gitti?
Adamı tanıyor musunuz?
Yok, tanımıyorum.
Even if this video was all set up and a fake, then it was amazingly well timed. But I'd love to hear any theories you guys might have, so let me know down in the comments. The Seance Witch. Paranormal investigator Brad Mack and his team are investigating a place called The Cage in a little town called St. Osyth in England. The site has a very dark history. Starting in the year 1582, this building was used as a prison, but not just any prison. The jail was used to confine and execute women convicted of witchcraft. Brian Mack says that during their paranormal investigation, his team heard strange footsteps and whispers. They saw lights flicker for no reason, and they even felt something bite or pinch them on several occasions. One member of their team named Vanessa was so shaken up that she absolutely refused to stay in the building after dark. But the most bizarre incident was yet to come. Late that night, the group decided to perform a seance to contact the ghosts of the convicted women who had died there. As Brian Mack watched and recorded from another room, he saw something very strange happen to a woman in the group.
Face has completely changed. Doesn't even look like a person.
Right, Debbie, you need to come down here for a minute, please.
Oh, that was weird, man. Oh, face has completely changed. Doesn't even look like a person.
One seance member's face actually begins to change and contort into something that can only be described as horrific. Her nose seems to grow and her mouth stretches into a bizarre inhuman grin right in front of the camera. Fearing for the woman's safety, they call down and remove her from the group. After the seance, the woman has a strange burn mark down the back of her neck, even though she had been dressed in several layers of clothing. She later said that after the incident, she experienced horrible nightmares and bizarre occurrences around her home. So was this some supernatural possession by a ghost caught on camera? Or just a trick of the light? Let me know what you think down in the comments. A whisper on the wind. This next clip is from Big Brother Brazil in 2004. In this video, one of the contestants named Cida is sunbathing when she suddenly hears a strange voice calling her name.
Ué, eu ouvi meu nome. Cida? Quem tá chamando? É na casa?
But no one is calling her name. In fact, she is all alone until one of her roommates walks outside.
Ó, vem cá. É você que tá chamando? É. Ai, que susto. Ainda bem que você chamou. Desculpa. Eu acho que você tá muito bem, não.
Posso ter molhado? Por quê?
Eu tava aqui lavando roupa, né? Aí de repente ela levantou. Quem tá me chamando? Quem tá me chamando? Da produção? Quem tá me chamando? Aí, como disse quem tá me chamando, aí eu chamei. Ela, oi. Ai, que bom. Eu sei que tava me chamando, eu era. Eu não era. Aí ela, ai, que estranho, porque eu confundi sua voz com a voz da minha irmã. Parecia que era minha irmã que tava me chamando.
Now this is where things get very weird. The roommate says that Cida thought the voice calling her name was her sister's. Just a few minutes later, and Cida is called into the production room by the Big Brother executives. She finds out that unfortunately, her very sick sister Gloria has just passed away.
Ela faleceu? Vem cá, dá um abraço.
Estava preparada.
Chora, também. Faz bem chorar.
Even stranger, Cida's sister passed away at almost the exact same time that Cida heard her sister's voice calling her name.
E ontem, o que aconteceu exatamente que foi tão impressionante? Você ouviu alguém te chamando e era o quê? Meia hora, 45 minutos depois da morte da Glória. O que você ouviu? Você ouviu ela te chamando?
Ouvi.
Mais de uma vez?
Muito mais.
E só dizia o seu nome?
Só meu nome. Aí eu achei que fosse minha imaginação. Aí eu fiquei procurando. Procurei as pessoas, sem ninguém. A única pessoa que tava era a Thaís, lavando tênis de costas.
Now bear in mind, this was all broadcast live on Brazilian TV. So, is this proof of life after death broadcast on television? Is it proof that loved ones can contact us from beyond the grave? Or is it just a very odd coincidence? Let me know what you think.
When you travel well, your ticket can take you to more than just your destination. It can take you to new shared memories. When you travel well.
Okay, why should you get one of these? I mean, apart from it having over 21,000 games and 20.
Let me know what you think. The end of the road. Popular Guatemalan news reporter Vivian Vasquez is driving in traffic on her way to work to report the early morning. morning news, but she will never make it to the news station. Because Vivian herself becomes the tragic subject of the morning news when her lifeless body is discovered in a horrible car accident. Her family, co-workers, and fans are shocked and saddened when they hear of her sudden, tragic passing. Guatemalan traffic police show up on the scene and record footage of the wreckage as evidence. But after the video is released to the public, mourning viewers and fans all hear something in the footage that is absolutely chilling. And this time, did you hear it? The anguished voice of a woman can be heard crying out in Spanish, "What did you do to me?" When watching the footage, it becomes clear that it makes no sense for anyone present at the site of the accident to be screaming, "What did you do to me?" Vivian's loyal fans believe that it was her anguished spirit crying out from beyond the grave. To this day, the Guatemalan authorities have not found the cause of Vivian's accident. Even stranger, Vivian's cell phone footage that is absolutely chilling. And this time, did you hear it? The anguished voice of a woman can be heard crying out in Spanish, "What did you do to me?" When watching the footage, it becomes clear that it makes no sense for anyone present at the site of the accident to be screaming, "What did you do to me?" Vivian's loyal fans believe that it was her anguished spirit crying out from beyond the grave. To this day, the Guatemalan authorities have not found the cause of Vivian's accident. Even stranger, Vivian's cell phone was never returned to her family, and no one knows why. So just what happened to Vivian Vasquez? And what are your thoughts on this bizarre and tragic recording? Let me know down below. A cry for help. This video was posted to Reddit by user Unknown Truth. He says that his friend's wife had a very odd experience one day as she walked outside to do laundry. The strange incident was caught on their Ring doorbell camera. The woman hears some strange voice, and it's not coming from the Ring camera speaker. In fact, she checks closely, and the voice is coming from the wall to her side. So I boosted the audio on this clip, and just take a listen. Some strange voice in the wall seems to be crying out for help. The woman is so freaked out that she goes inside and actually calls the police.
I looked around, I didn't see anybody out on the road or any cars or anything. So I went back to my Ring video to make sure I wasn't just courageously hearing something.
I can hear somebody saying something, but I can't.
Well, I posted it on there.
The police search the premises, but there's no one there, in the wall or elsewhere. So just what is this strange disembodied voice that seems to be begging for help? Let me know what you think. Mayor declares emergency ghost. Now the strangest thing about this next paranormal video might be the source, because this video was released by the actual mayor of the city of Armenia, Colombia, Jose Manuel Rios. So the security guard in this video says that he saw a male figure descend the stairs inside the mayor's office. He pursues the man, but the guy seems to vanish into thin air. The security guard can be seen on CCTV searching the area, but then things take a terrifying turn. In the video, the security guard appears to be suspiciously looking around the area, seemingly confused. Then suddenly an unseen force seems to attack the man and throw him into a banner. The guard can be seen looking around in panic, with no assailant in sight. He then suffers another attack and two guards hurry over to help him. The somewhat shaken mayor of Armenia says that, quote, a bishop and other religious leaders will come to bless the mayor's offices, and that they will, quote, bring God's blessing to every corner of this workspace. Now it seems highly doubtful that the mayor of Armenia, Colombia would suddenly release a fake ghost video. So just what do you think happened to this security guard? Randonautica.
So I just went randonauting.
You probably already know what the app Randonautica is by now. But just in case you are a sheltered person, Randonautica is an app where you basically put in an intention, and most people use something dark or a bit spooky, and then the app spits out random coordinates and tells you to go there and explore. It's like a scavenger hunt with no prizes. But here's the really weird thing. Some users swear that the Randonautica app taps into something. The universe, energy, the paranormal, some type of thing like that. They claim that they found really strange things and sometimes really scary things by following Randonautica's directions.
Sky. Oh my God.
So now let me tell you about one Randonautica exploration that is truly unexplainable. A group of teens in Seattle are exploring with the Randonautica app and are directed to a location near the water on a Seattle beach. When they get there, they find a mysterious suitcase near the shore.
Guys, we found a suitcase at the beach.
Gabby, go. I'll hold your stuff.
Oh, wait, open it. Open it. It stinks, y'all.
You washed it.
Oh! Oh!
The contents inside the suitcase smell horrible, so the teens immediately call the police.
Found a suitcase on the laundry and outside.
And now things get truly bizarre, because it turns out this small black suitcase contains the remains of a human body. The police investigate, and because of YouTube rules, I can't really tell you any more about that. But let me say, this incident is 100% documented. It is not a fake video. It is not an elaborate hoax. You do not get to decide. In fact, you can even look this up because this case was reported by multiple reliable news outlets. So you decide this. Was this random chance? Or is Randonautica just f***ing spooky? You decide. The Haunted Hill House. The Hill House in Mineral Wells, Texas is said to be one of the most haunted locations in the U.S. With its 125-year dark and troubling past, that doesn't come as much of a surprise. The home was once a haven for illegal activity. It served as a gambling hall, a bootlegging operation, and even a brothel. It also served as a makeshift hospital for over 50 years. It is said that the Haunted Hill House is inhabited by the ghosts of at least 9 people who lost their lives there. So, one night in late September, a group of friends and family rented the Hill House to just have a little fun. In fact, many of them were doubters who just wanted to prove that the so-called Haunted Hill House wasn't actually haunted at all. But that's not exactly how things went down. The house is said to be haunted by one particularly violent spirit that the house's owners refer to as Dr. Yeager. One of the visitors, Victoria, lays down on the bed in one of the rooms, and she jokingly starts taunting.
The following video.
Meet Dylan with the Scopilot Plus PC.
Video shows a woman doing a live stream inside her house when something extremely creepy is caught on camera. The woman in this video is known as Cello Loca, who's well known for doing tarot card readings and other fortune-telling activities. It isn't often the case, but occasionally Cello would go online and do a live stream where she does tarot card readings for her viewers. But it was just recently that Cello had done something completely different. Instead of reading cards as usual, she decides to do a seance inside her house. Little did she know that this would be a big mistake. As Cello tries to make contact with the dead, she talks to a friend on the phone who's watching the live stream. She sits in front of a mirror when all of a sudden, this happens.
Es como si me quedara inmovilizada. Mira que se ahora hacen así.
Ahora se abre la puerta.
¿Dónde está la puerta? ¿Se ve la puerta?
Sí.
Ábrete, ábrete. Ábrete puerta. Ábrete puerta. Que se abra la puerta. Que se abra.
No posible. No posible.
Ay, tu madre, hija de puta. No me toquéis que estoy protegida, ¿eh? No me toquéis que estoy protegida. No vale, ya abro la luz, tía.
Somehow, the door opens on its own. But even stranger is that it opened when Cello asked the supposed spirit to do so. Feeling completely terrified, she takes a moment to gather herself before proceeding further with the seance. What happens next has left her beyond spooked. Watch.
¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Estás enfadado? ¿Te puedes poner delante del espejo, por favor? ¿Te puedes poner delante? Venga, ponte delante del espejo. Te quiero ver. Dios, tu puta madre. Oh, puta, que me caigo.
Hostia, Cello, cuidado.
It is at this point that Cello has seen enough and decides to end the live stream. Given what happened, viewers believe that Cello might have reached out to a sinister entity. Yet others think that something else was contacted. Although pretty spooky, it could be that this whole thing was just a setup for the sole purpose of getting views. But it seems that many viewers find this video to be genuine evidence of something paranormal. But of course, you be the judge. Ghost or not? Feel free to let me know what you think. Now the following video barely has any information, but it still speaks for itself. Where exactly this video had come from is unknown, as the original source is a total mystery. All that is known is that it was found by someone online who reposted the video. In it, a small child is seen lying at a doorway when something pretty baffling happens. Take a look.
That's how we talk about